Sometimes after 20 years, some scientific people tell this perhaps means this or this, but every of these Dalian images remain in one complete mystery.
Buji buji.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my small channel. In this video, I will talk about the story behind the strangest man I have ever seen. You might have recognized him from a mask called the Salvador Dali mask. You might have seen this mask in shows like La Casa de Papel or Money Heist, and you might have wondered why this mask and who is the man behind the most famous mask in the world. By the end of the video, you will know the answers to all these questions and more. In this scene, we can see people wearing a Salvador Dali mask and a red jumpsuit to hide their true identities. If you're not familiar with this show, it's basically about 8 robbers plus the leader, which is also known as the professor in the show. They go on a prepared heist on the Royal Mint of Spain. This mask is a symbol of one thing, which is resistance. The word resistance is repeated throughout the show by the professor to explain the feeling they all have went through trying to find something bigger than their own self. And it is not a coincidence that the word resistance was a big part of Salvador Dali's life. Salvador Dali was born on May 11, 1904 in Spain. Salvador came from a rich family. His father was a lawyer, and maybe that's why he was known to have a strict approach when it came to raising his children. His father would always hold him accountable for the smallest of things, but his mother, Felipa Ferris, was the total opposite. She was loving and forgiving, and she also worked on growing his artistic side from a young age. From a young age, Salvador Dali was known for his intelligence, but no one can deny how strange he would act. Dali was subjected to multiple acts of abuse by more dominant students or his father. Their relationship suffered a lot, especially during his childhood, and he talked about how much he hated his father in his diaries. From a very young age, Dali exhibited very concerning behavior. He linked pain and pleasure together and had a strange childhood habit for attacking people for no reason at all. In one of his violent incidents, he once pushed a friend off of a bridge. He admitted that when he pushed his childhood friend off a 15-foot bridge, his friend was injured and he was obviously in pain. But Salvador Dali didn't care and kept staring at him while laughing. At an early age, Dali was producing highly sophisticated drawings, and both of his parents supported his artistic side. And his parents also built him an art studio before he entered art school. In the same year, Dali's parents sent him to drawing school in 1916, but unfortunately he didn't take school seriously and spent most of his time either daydreaming or fighting with his classmates. During his time in art school, he didn't have any friends, and to be honest, I don't think anyone wanted to approach him because of his strange behavior. He didn't last long in his school anyways and was suspended for criticizing his teachers all the time. In the same year, he was arrested for his political views. He went to another academy in 1926 and was expelled again because he said that no member of the faculty was competent enough to examine him. Yes, he said that. In 1921, Dali's mother, Felipa, died of breast cancer. Dali was 16 years old at the time and was devastated by the loss of his mother. After his mother's death, he would spend most of his time either painting or fighting with his father. The issues between them kept on getting worse, especially that there was no one there to stop them from fighting anymore. In 1922, Dali got in another academy in Madrid. He stayed at the school's student residence, and that's when he decided to have a complete makeover. He started growing his hair and obviously the mustache, and started dressing like he was from the 19th century. He had a lot of time off and he started exploring with many forms of art, and he even used that time to go on several trips to Paris where he met Picasso, whom he considered to be a genius. During this time, Dali painted a number of works that displayed Picasso's influence. Salvador started experimenting with surrealism art. He even invented a new technique called the paranoid critical method, which is a mental exercise of accessing the subconscious mind to enhance artistic creativity. Dali would use this method to create a reality from his dreams and his subconscious mind. Salvador Dali later expanded his art and got into film making, and he made one of the most strangest films I have ever seen. These strange films were a big part of his popularity, and that's when he started getting attention from the mainstream media. However, after a short period of time, the media stopped talking about him because of his strange behavior and, of course, because of his extreme political views. In August 1929, Dali met Elena Dmitrievna. She is Russian and was 10 years older than Salvador Dali. From the moment they met each other, they knew they wanted to be together. The only problem was that Elena was actually married to Salvador Dali's best friend. A couple of weeks later, she left her husband to be with Salvador Dali. She eventually became his wife in 1934. Elena was his muse and inspiration to the point that for a period of time he used to sign his name next to his wife's name in his own paintings. He even said that if an artist wants to produce good work, then they first have to be in love with my wife Elena. In 1980, Dali was forced to retire from painting due to a disorder that caused permanent trembling and weakness in his hands. He was no longer able to hold a paintbrush and lost his ability to express himself the way he wanted. And after 2 years of his retirement, the biggest tragedy in his life struck when his wife Elena passed away. That tragedy sent him into a deep depression. For years, he managed to keep himself away from the public eye and locked himself into the castle he bought for his wife Elena. And one day that castle caught on fire. Dali was severely burned by the fire. Due to his injuries, he was confined into a wheelchair. And after 4 years, he died of a heart failure at the age of 84.
¿Usted qué le ha aportado usted al arte en general?
Al arte absolutamente nada.
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 ¿Y a la
Porque
vida?
no, porque lo digo siempre, soy muy mal pintor por la razón de que soy demasiado inteligente para ser buen pintor. Para ser buen pintor hay que ser un poco burro.
¿Y a la vida?
A menos Velázquez, que es un genio que pasa de mucho al acto pictórico. Y a la vida pues le debo todo, porque el día que Dalí hiciera un cuadro bien hecho como Velázquez o como Vermeer o como Rafael, o una música como Mozart, la semana siguiente uno se muere. Y entonces yo prefiero hacer cuadros malos y vivir más tiempo.